I need a hammer.
Jim Thomas has to get up early
I hammer in the morning.
to get the engine going on his Mustang.
No, we aren't talking about the Ford. We're talking about the original horse.
Feral horses until the government and rescue groups capture them.
When we pick them up, you can't handle them, you can't touch them. You can only get as close to them as what the fence would allow.
Then people like Jim work with the horses to show that a little love and discipline makes them adoptable. And roughly half the 70,000 Mustangs in America are looking for homes.
This is all my provisions with horse feed and everything else for the next 10 days.
On a trip from his farm in Chatham County
I'm nervous for my dad.
to Clemson, South Carolina.
That's 300 miles without assistance.
Jim realized that on a trip like that, he could do more than train his Mustangs. An idea interesting enough to make the front page of the local paper just below the story about the soldier who was killed in Afghanistan.
This one right here, it's Mustangs for the Warrior, and that's what the ride is for. It's for the Wounded Warrior Project.
Which makes sense for the guy for whom the Army has been the family business for 3/4 of a century. Jim's father spent 41 years in the Army. Jim, 32 in the Army and Reserves. And Jim's son, Chapin, has been flying Apache helicopters for the last 4 years.
Love you, Daddy.
Love you, honey.
Be careful.
Okay.
Jim embarks with a few gadgets the cowboys never had. But then the cowboys never had to deal with this.
See, that's an example right there of somebody, you know, they're just too late for work to slow down.
That's Jim's occupational hazard.
I hope they get there.
When the Mustang he drives is pure but single horsepower.
Is it okay if I walk up?
The occasional stop to let the horses graze lets one friend slip something into his pocket
Hello.
and lets another tell us about slipping a good word in for Jim.
I was telling Santa Claus the other day what a good fella he was. And if he gets a lot of good presents this time, he'll know I had a little something to do with it.
All right, cowboy, time to go again.
The leaden skies under which he rides is a reminder that the horizon isn't always as bright for those who return from war incomplete.
Across the road.
But Jim Thomas is doing his little bit
Had 2 people to start and give donations.
to absorb the rain so they won't have to.
I don't know where all those cars came from.
Bob Buckley, Fox 8 News.